Oh hi. Pereslavl-Zalessky. Often just Pereslavl. The city. Since 1152. In the Yaroslavl region of Russia. The population minus 37391 people. 2021. The square of the city makes 23.01 km. The administrative center of Pereslavlzalessky district, which doesn't enter, having the status of the city of regional value. In borders of this area within the municipal device since 2018 it forms the city district, the city of Pereslavl-Zalessky. The city is located in 140 km from Moscow, on route M, Holmogora, Moscow, Arkhangelsk, on the bank of Pleshchiv of the lake, in the place of confluence of the river Inym by Trubez. Also has through transport connection with Vologda and entrances to Vladimir, Kostroma, Ivanovo and Tver. Center of National Park Pleshchivo Lake. The kilometer sign 140 km is in the downtown on turn from Svoboda Street on Rostiskaya Street. In the city the railway station Pereslavl, final the railway line from the Brandivo station is located. Pereslavl is included into the Golden Ring of Russia.
Pereslavl was included in the list of the cities of this tourist route by bike god Yuri Alexandrovich, who thought up Golden Ring to be 2009 year. The city visited 290,000 people, from whom 91% of profit here on an excursion.
At the same time 2% of tourists, 6,000 people, were made by foreigners. Geographical location. Pereslavl is located in the central part of the East European plain, in a northeast part of Klindatrov Ridge, on the southeast coast of the Lake Pleshchivo, at confluence of the river Inym of Trubez, in 21 km from the railway station Brandivo, in 124 km to the southwest from Yaroslavl and 140 km to the northeast from Moscow.
Pereslavl-Zalessky is in our zone Moscow time. Moscow time. Shift of the applied time concerning youths is +300. According to the applied time and geographical longitude, average solar midday in Pereslavl-Zalessky comes at 12:21.
The climate is moderately continental. The winter is cool, cloudy, with periodic thaw. The spring is serene, with an annual minimum of rainfall. Summer rather warm but short. The fall is usually rainy. The city is founded in 1152 by the Prince Yuri Dolgoruki as future capital of northeast Russia. The prince put on the marshy plain the city, huge 2 measures of the time, with a length of shaft about 2.5 km. The cities big by the sizes than Pereslavl in northeast Russia weren't. We will compare with it only Vladimir. Perimeter of strengthenings of Monomachov, or Pekernego, the cities, to about 2.5 km. The perimeter of strengthenings of Yuryev-Polsky is less -2 km, in Suzdal it is even less -1.4 km. In Detrov. Founded a little later Pereslavl, in 1154. Yaroslavl. The chopped city. And Peremyshel-Moskovsk ap. 1 km in Zvenigorod and Moscow. Fortress of 1156. About 800 m. Pereslavl-Zalessky was very big city and by the standards of all Russia. More and more only Kiev. Perimeter of strengthenings of the city of Yaroslavl of the time ap. 3.5 km. And Smolensk. The city of Rostislava 2 ap. 3.5 km.
Perimeter of strengthenings of Novgorod and ancient settlement of Staraya Ryazan about 1.4 km.
The initial name, Pereslavl, the city received in honor of more ancient city, Pereslavl Russian. 2 days Pereslav in the territory of Ukraine. Who in turn was based in Koltso the Prince Vladimir Sviatovich. The perimeter of strengthenings of Pereslavl Russian was much less than the city of Dolgorokogo, about 1.5 km. The city founded by Yuri Dolgoruki was behind the woods in Zalessky, area of fields and agriculture. Therefore began to add additional definition to the name of the city. Pereslavl-Zalessky. Since the 15th century pronunciation changed on Pereslavl-Zalessky. The Academician S5. Zagrievsky noted, as on the importance for culture and policy, and on labor costs and to load of economy of Russia construction by Yuri Dolgoruki in 1152 of the future capital, for no reason, on the marshy soil, was quite comparable to the basis Peter I Street. Petersburg. And the fact that Piat built the first fleet on the Pleshesy Lake is very symbolical. After Yuri Dolgoruki's death, Pereslavl-Zalessky lost capital functions, and his development stopped. However, the city remained one of the major destinies. About 1220 in it the Prince Alexander Nevsky was born. In the downtown during the security archaeological researches in 2016, Massachusetts burial of people was revealed. The similarity to Massachusetts burials in Yaroslavl testifies, is possible that they died during attack of Tatars in 1238. In 1276-1294. With a break. Petr Alexandrovich Pereslavsky reigning in Pereslavl, Alexander Nevsky's son, was the Grand Duke Vladimir, though his residence still was in Pereslavl. Thus, at this time Pereslavl-Zalessky became the actual capital of northeast Russia again. In 1280 in Pereslavl there passed the cathedral with participation of the North Russian bishops. The Novgorod Archbishop Clement, the Rostov Bishop Ignatius and the Vladimir Bishop Theodore. The Metropolitan Kirill III, the dead there, and the Grand Duke Petr Alexandrovich Pereslavsky. In 1302, after the death of the Prince Ivan Dmitrievich, the city under his will departed to the Moscow Principality. The Grand Duke Andrei Alexandrovich Borodetsky tried to annex Pereslavl to the possession, however the diploma of the Horde Khan in 1303 confirmed the rights of the Moscow princes.
In 1304 in the Battle of Pereslavl-Zalessky from integrated Moscow groups the Tver group which besieged the city under command of the Boyarkin suffered checkmate.
In 1238, after a 5-day siege.
1252, 1281, 1282, 1294.
The city was burned by the Yaroslavl Prince Fyodor Chyorny. 1382, 1408 and 1419 the city was taken and plundered by ordnance. In 1372 the city posted was burned out by attack of the Trotsky Prinske Stud. Since 1302 I was operated by the Moscow deputies, and sometimes I was given in feeding to alien princes.
In the 15th and 16th centuries, Pereslavl made the fiefdom of Princes Moscow and was obliged to deliver fish to the yard that was reflected in a municipal coat of arms. Its fish, a Pereslavl-Zalessky rypushka, the delicious subspecies with special taste living only in the Pleshisy Lake, is brought in red books of Russia and the red list of the Yaroslavl region now.
At the very beginning of the 14th century, under the will of the last specific Prince Ivan Dmitrievich, the grandson Alexander Nevsky, Pereslavl-Zalessky, it was attached to the Moscow Principality. Documents demonstrate that Pereslavl was one of the main suppliers of pergamene manuscripts for needs of the Moscow printing yard. However, we were reached by only a few codes of the local letter.
The best of them is the Pereslavl-Zalessky Gospel, remarkably decorating.
In the manuscript 5 miniatures, one of which, Xavier is able, are the real riddle for art critics. The refined flower ornament doesn't find analogies in a nice nost and is comparable only with decorative elements of fresco painting of temples. The manuscript was stored in the Pereslavl-Nikolsky monastery, on the swamp. In the 19th century, I was its owner. Columns F.A. Tolstoy is a part of whose collection the book came to public library in 1830.
In the fall of 1374, the Moscow Prince Dmitry Ivanovich in Pereslavl organized a meeting of the Russian princes and boyars, at which he for the first time discussed an issue of disposal of the country of a Mongol Tatago.
In 1608, fortress is destroyed by the Polish-Lithuanian interventionists. The city strongly was damaged in days of the time of troubles.
In 1688, the Tsar Pyotr on the Pleshisy Lake began construction of an amusing flotilla that was the beginning of the Russian military of the fleet.
In 1692, the construction of a flotilla was completed and the solemn review is organized. In 1708, the city is attributed to the Moscow province. Since 1719, the center of the Pereslavl-Zalessky province of the Moscow province. Since 1778, the district city of the Vladimir Namestnichestvo, and then in provinces. Since 1929, the center of Pereslavl-Zalessky district of the Ivanovo industrial region. Since 1936 is a part of the Yaroslavl region. In 1884 in the city the water supply system was constructed. From 1872 to 1917 the city council directed the city. In 1994 it was recreated. On March 17, 1944 Pereslavl-Zalessky received the status of the city of regional submission. Heraldry. The first coat of arms was accepted on August 19, 1781. On the coat of arms, two gold Pereslavl-Zalessky rypushka in a subfleur were represented, meaning that this smoked fish makes the bargaining, and a lion's leopard as a symbol of the Vladimir Namestnichestvo, which then Pereslavl treated.
The modern municipal coat of arms is accepted in 2002. In comparison with the old coat of arms, the top part, as the city doesn't belong to the Vladimir region anymore, is removed. The image of fishes became more schematical. The flag of the city is accepted on February 7, 2002, externally similar to the coat of arms, however rypushki, black color, and the field yellow.
For January 1, 2021 on population, the city was in the 418th place from 1116 cities of the Russian Federation.
Economy.
In the city the plants, the lit plant, NL's Polier and Jest Slavich Company, the photochemical shop Kodak, New World Factory, Pereslavl-Zalessky Bakery, are located. Enters into Stolensky Field Agro-Industrial Corporation. Plastic disposable tableware and plastic packing, PET tapes are made. Technical textiles, a machine embroidery are produced. The local mechanical engineering, the food industry, tobacco production, production of construction blocks on volume and modular technology are developed. The city was known for the tourist narrow gauge railroad. Pereslavl, a starting point of departure. In 2005 the road was sorted. Education. In the city of 9 municipal educational institutions, 12 municipal preschool educational institutions.
In 1992-2017 in the city the non-state higher education institution Institute of Program Systems Ogpove, K.
Alemazian worked. The higher education institution opened on November 26, 1992 at the initiative of the academician Evgeny Velihov and Professor Alfred Alemazian. Sites. Monuments of church architecture. 5 architectural complexes of monasteries and 9 churches.
The monument to the founder of the city Yuri Dolgoruki is located about entry into the city on the Moscow Road in Goritsky Monastery of Dormishin.
The bust made by the sculptor S.M. Olev in 1949, actually as the sketchy source isn't specified 2217 days a monument to Yuri Dolgoruki in Moscow, was cast from G. Savinskim bronze in 1950. In the center of Pereslavl the city shaft surrounding the historic center of the city remained. Along the river Trubez the fish settlement was stretched. Museums and exhibitions. Pereslavl-Zalessky Historical and Architectural and Art Memorial Estate. The Memorial Estate boat of Peter the Great. With 1803, the first provincial museum of Russia. Where Fate Batik remained. Pereslavl-Zalessky Dendrology Garden. Museum of the Iron. Museum of Country Design Horse and Coat. Hanea Street. 17. Museum House of a Teapot. Museum of Cunning and Sharpness. Museum of Radio. Museum of a Teapot. Museum of Sewing Art. Alexander Nevsky's Museum. Museum of History of Money. Museum Kingdom of a Raipushka. Museum of Record Players and Phonograph Records. Recreation Park, Russian Park. Center of Preservation and Development of National Traditions, Berendy's House. The Cultural and Exhibition Center on Rostov. In 2 km to the northwest from the city there is an archaeological site, the Kleshchinsky complex. The center of a complex is the ancient city of Kleshin from which shaft of the 12th century remained. Subject to worship of pagans, the Blue Stone, a huge boulder of dark blue color weighing 12 tons remained.
And several kilometers from Pereslavl-Zalessky, in the settlement of Talitsy there is a Pereslavsky Railway Museum.
Monuments of church architecture. In the city, 6 monasteries, 4 act. Nikitsky Monastery. Nikolsky Monastery. The Sertenka Novodevichy Convent. It is closed in 1764. Sacred and Troitsk Danilev Monastery. Fyodorovsky Monastery.
The Duhovsky Monastery, built till 1568, and also the settlement which arose at him, didn't remain.
Panorama of Nikitsky Monastery. In 1744-1788 I was the center of the Pereslavl-Zalessky diocese, restored on December 27, 2015. In the city the Pereslavl-Zalessky spiritual school worked. In the city 9 churches from which are remarkable. Transfiguration Cathedral of the 12th century, the most ancient monument of architecture of northeast Russia. 10th Church of Piet Mitropolit. 1585. Vladimirsky Cathedral. 40th years of the 18th century. Church of the Intercession. 1769. Simeon Stylites Church. End of the 16th century. Church of 40 Martyrs Sebastia. Middle of the 18th century. List of routes of buses. No. 1. Pereslavl-Zalessky, the settlement agricultural machinery. 10 buses, 2 lines, an interval of the movement each 6 minutes. No. 4. The youth settlement, Medsanchisto-Slavich. 1 bus, 2 lines, an interval of the movement each 70 minutes. No. 5. Sokolka, Pereslavl-Zalessky. 1 bus, 2 lines, an interval of the movement each 60 minutes. No. 6. The youth settlement, agricultural machinery. 1 bus, 2 lines, an interval of the movement each 70 minutes. No. 7. A Voska shop, agricultural machinery. 2 buses, 2 lines, an interval of the movement each 30 minutes. No. 8. MCT. Kokolovsky, Pereslavl-Zalessky. 2 buses, 2 lines, an interval of the movement each 30 minutes. No. 9. Big Brembola, Pereslavl-Zalessky. 1 bus, 2 lines, an interval of the movement each 60 minutes. No. 10. Dixie, Lake. 2 buses, 2 lines, an interval of the movement each 20 minutes. Routes are served by buses of small and average capacity. +32054, +4234, +320,402, +320,412. The bus of Pereslavl-Zalessky ATP works at the 4th route. Earlier to city routes there were buses of big and small capacity. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.